Borthakur IAS Academy, an endeavor of excellence.
Borthakur IAS Academy.
Hello everyone, welcome to another session of newspaper analysis at Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC and APSC preparation. Today we will be analyzing some important news dated 22nd April 2021. Please like and share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. In the description box below, we have provided the link for today's e-paper so that you can download it from there. So the first news of today is regarding the South China Sea dispute. Recently, China accused USA because of its a USA warship sailing near the Paracel Islands in the South China Sea, which is claimed by China. Now, South China Sea is strategically important because there are certain regions of this sea which is believed to hold valuable oil and gas deposits. Aru hei karone many neighboring states and territories, they claim their hold over certain regions. Okay, aru hei karone recently Philippines, it also was planning to deploy military ships in order to assert the country's claim over oil deposits in certain part of the waterway, right? USA to China accused kora boli moi etu mention koriswe, they have seriously accused USA for violating the China's sovereignty and harming regional peace there. South China Sea, we all know, is an arm of the Western Pacific Ocean in the Southeast Asia, and it is connected by the Taiwan Strait with the East China Sea and by the Luzon Strait with the Philippine Sea. এই যেটা স্ট্রেইটৰ নাম হয় এটা আপোনালোকে মনত ৰাখিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিব আৰু বৰ্ডাৰিং যিখিনি ষ্টেটস আৰু টেৰিটৰিজ হয় that includes the People's Republic of China, Taiwan, Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore and Vietnam. মই যিখন সেকেন্ড স্লাইড হয় তাত এখন পিকচাৰ শেয়াৰ কৰিছো যত আপোনালোকে নিয়াৰবাই এৰিয়াজ খিনি চাই ল'ব পাৰিব আৰু স্ট্ৰেটেজিক্যালি যেটো ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট বুলি মই অলৰেডি মেনশন কৰিছিলো because this location is a connecting link. Okay, this particular South China Sea, it acts as a connecting link between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean through the Strait of Malacca. That you also need to remember. Next, we will see India's stand in this matter. Arambonir Prai, India has been saying that it is not a party of the South China Sea dispute, and its presence should not be seen as something, an activity to contain China, but rather to secure India's own economic interests and its energy security needs, right? But because of China's increasing ability to expand its role in the South China Sea, India etia compel hoy goise to rethink about its approach in this whole matter. Agote India koisile je okol nijor jitu interest hoy, economic interest ba energy security needs hoy, hetuk loi related hoi thakibo India, and it will not go deep into this matter because baki khini concern nohoy. Aru any activity of India should not be seen as one trying to contain China in that particular matter. But etia jihetu China's jitu role hoy, China's jitu expanding capacity hoy, hetu barhiye goi ase, it is trying to convert certain reefs into artificial intelligence island. So hebilakor karone tat beleg baki khini country teoloke China iman besi activity kori nijor jikhini claim thake hekhini dibole chance nei die. So because of all these kind of things, and also because of India's involvement in Act East policy, Quad initiative ba jitu Vietnamor naval exercise hoy tat India nijor navy deploy korise for the sea for protection of sea lanes of communication SLOP. So he karone now India has been compelled to rethink about its approach on the whole matter. So here you can see the picture of South China Sea and how China has claimed 90% of the waters of South China Sea through this U-shaped line, that is the 9-dash line, and this dotted line was seen in the Chinese maps in the 1940s when the Chinese geographer, they claimed that this particular 90%, as large as 90% of the waters of South China Sea belongs to China. And here you can see the artificial islands which are built by China, and because of this increasing activities and expanding activity of China, India has been compelled to re-evaluate its approach in the whole South China Sea dispute matter. The next news is regarding how India is going to lower its carbon emissions in the near future through certain sector changes. Okay, and in the recent Leaders Climate Summit organized by the United States in this week, a question has arisen about when India is going to announce its net zero emissions target. But this particular target, okay, net zero emission, it is quite crucial for India at this point of time, as it not only compromises with India's development needs, number one, but at the same time, if the other richer and developed countries, they don't take strict actions, okay, they don't take like proper means, they don't adopt proper means, then it is not going to be quite viable in context of the global climate crisis. Okol India is already net zero emissions or target to low, but keeping in mind that India is a developing country, right? Aru India in the upcoming years, India bahut enko developmental schemes, projects hatat loise that is going to, you know, uplift its population, because a major chunk of India's population is below poverty line, right? So hey karane to bring them above that poverty line, to make to provide a healthy lifestyle, a better lifestyle to the population, tar karone developmental work lagibo, industrial works lagibo, and at the same time hebilake employment generate koribo, right? Then only people will have a proper way of life, their standards of life will improve. So ekhini homoyot jodi enikwa net zero emissions or target India global platform declare kori diye je by this particular year, maybe 2030 or 2050, it is going to have net zero emissions, then it will compromise with the India's development needs. That is the direct that is a direct concern for India. And secondly, also okol India is jodi enikwa dhoroner target set kore nijor karone, compromising with its developmental needs, and the other richer and developed countries, they are not taking any fruitful step in this regard, then that is not a solution to this global climate crisis. Etu okol India problem nohoy, this is a global crisis, and to deal with such a problem, we have to join hands, right? And depending on the state of a particular country, depending on the progress rate of a particular country, accordingly we will have to set our targets so that it does not hamper our progress, and also it does not affect our environment, and this environment is preserved also for our future generations. Now, having said that, although India is not very keen to declare its net zero emission target on a global platform by setting a time limit, at the same time India has never stood back in matters of conservation of environment. It has always believed that we should lower our carbon consumption and emission limits, so that it does not have a negative impact on the environment. Our environment becomes sustainable for not just us but also the future generation. Aru tar karone India focus kori ase kisuman concrete near term sectoral transformations or uporot that will include aggressive adoption of technologies, and it will also avoid high carbon lock-ins in the environment. And ei jikhini sectoral change hoy, tar ami ketaman example sai lobo paru, that is decarbonizing the power sector, because it is the single largest source of India's greenhouse gas emission. Around 40% of emission comes from the electricity sector. So if we aim at decarbonizing the electricity sector, then that will be a key step towards achieving net zero emissions. Etyaleke India is focusing on expanding its renewable electricity capacity, but from now we will have to think a step beyond this, and we'll also have to limit the expansion of our coal-based electricity capacity. And tar karone eta birat bold step hobo if we pledge that we will not grow our coal-fired power capacity beyond the present state, right? This will not only help us in developing our renewable energy, okay, this will not only give a full scope for the development of renewable energy, but also it will be a step towards the net zero emission যেটো আমাৰ final objective হয় right আৰু তাৰ কাৰণে আমি কিছুমান strict plans বনাব লাগিব আমি কিছুমান এনেকুৱা টেকনলজিজ নতুন টেকনলজিৰ ওপৰত আমি ডিপেন্ডেন্ট হ'ব লাগিব such as electricity storage smart grids okay this will help in boosting not just the coal or electricity sector but it will also help in development of the related sectors like transportation আৰু আমি কিছুমান মাল্টি ষ্টেকহোল্ডাৰ transition commission কিছুমান involve কৰিব লাগিব representing all the levels of government so that the communities which are dependent on this coal sector right so they will have to ensure some decent other livelihood opportunities beyond the coal especially in the India's coal belt etu karone because if we aim at developing if we aim at our net zero emissions if we want to have a brighter low carbon future that should not be that should not put a hammer on the backs of the Indian poor right India's jikhini poor population hoy tar upliftmentor karone ami developmental activities bilak lom boli bhabi asu and because of that only India is not committing anything on a global platform so if we are going to take some small term if we want to achieve some small term goals through sectoral changes then that should not affect the current situation of the population who are below the poverty line. Next we have another important news regarding the Boao Forum for Asia and its annual conference 2021 was recently held in Boao, South China's Hainan province and this year it is the 20th anniversary of the Boao Forum for Asia. So regarding this annual conference of the Boao Forum for Asia BFA annual conference 2021 this year it witnessed more than 2500 participants and all the participants came from more than 60 countries. Our ei bosorer jeto theme hoise it is a world in change join hands to strengthen global governance and advance Belt and Road cooperation. Yar jeto main agenda hoy it is to strengthen the overall socio-economic growth and global governance to make global governance more effective and also to move ahead with mutual understanding in the post-pandemic area. Aru ekhon annual report on Asian economy was also released on this occasion and it highlighted on the Asian economy and also emphasized on the fact that Asian economies comparatively they did well despite of the ongoing pandemic. Boao Forum for Asia it was started in the year 2001 by 26 member states and Bortoman it has increased to 29. India is also a member of BFA and prottek bochore year annual conference to held kora hoy at Boao in the Hainan province of China on regular basis. Another important fact is that this whole forum is modeled in the lines of World Economic Forum jar annual meeting to Davos Switzerland organized kora hoy and therefore Boao Forum for Asia has earned the name of Davos of the East. Aru yat 5 focal areas ase ebarar jikhon annual meeting asile tat 5 focal areas emphasize kora hoise which includes technology innovation health education culture and media. Next is regarding a campaign of the Global Youth Mobilization Local Solution. It was launched on April 19, 2021. This is mainly focused to involve the youth of the world in building their lives impacted by the novel coronavirus pandemic, right? Iman tensed situation at keneke the youth can join together, they can come together and build their lives. Education keneke continue koribo pare. Ami last news ote discuss korisilo how the students are affected, right? So ei bilak iman tensed situations or mazot iman khini uncertainties or mazot keneke the youth can keep themselves motivated, right? They can carry on with their education and also with their overall development. So hey karne a campaign to launch kora hoise and it will fund the youth those who have been impacted by the pandemic they will be provided some monetary support and this particular campaign it has been supported by the world's largest youth organization six world's largest youth organizations, they have come together and supported this particular campaign along with the United Nations agencies. Aru hey 6 world's jikhini organization hoy, youth organization hoy, tar naam keta moi ebar koi disu. They are World Alliance of Young Men's Christian Associations, World Young Women's Christian Association, World Organization of the Scout Movement, World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, and last, the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award. A6 jikita organization hoy tar naam iman important nohoy, moi hekarne mention kora nai slides on. It's not that important, but you just have to know that this many world's 6 of the world's largest youth organizations, they have also supported, keeping in mind the lives of the youth. Okay, they should be physically as well as mentally fit even under this pandemic situation, and they should know how to cope up with the situation. Aru hekarne monetary support to provide kora hoise. Let's have a look at the capsule news for today. First news is regarding INAS 323. The Indian Naval Air Squadron INAS 323 is the first unit of the indigenously built ALH, that is Advanced Light Helicopter Mk3 aircraft, and this was commissioned into the Indian Navy in the presence of Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri Shri Shripad Nayak. Raksha Rajya Mantri naam to monot rakhibo, Shri Shripad Nayak, and also the INAS 323, which has been recently commissioned into the Indian Navy. The squadron will operate 3 state-of-art ALH Mk3, a multi-role helicopter with Shakti engine manufactured by the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, and this will be mainly used for search and rescue operations, okay, and special operations and coastal surveillance. 16 aircraft are under procurement, and the aircraft are being delivered in a phased manner to the Indian Navy. So it will be quite helpful to the for maritime security and safeguarding maritime interests of our nation, and along with it, it also encourages the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Next capsule news is regarding the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill of 2021, which was recently cleared by the Lok Sabha. And this bill, it amends the Mines and Mineral Act of 1957 that regulates the mining sector in India. Now, coming to the constitutional provisions of mining, okay, list 2023 number serial entry hoy, that according to the Constitution of India, it mandates the state government to own the minerals which are located within the boundaries of a particular state, okay. And central or jikhon list ase union list number 1 tare entry number 54 it has been it has been given ordered that the central government will owe the minerals within the exclusive economic zone of India, and the central government, it also has the ownership over all the offshore minerals, that is the minerals which are extracted from the sea or ocean floor in the Indian maritime zones, that will include the territorial waters, continental shelf and exclusive economic zones. Now, a jikhon MMDR Act hoy of 1957, it provides for the terms and conditions the government should maintain in providing lease, okay, within the country, mining lease within the country, then purpose of the lease which is given, aru tar logote jikhini population hoy that resides in the areas near the mines which are to be auctioned, hekhini jate কোনো ধৰণৰ rights violate নহয় হেতু ensure কৰে, it ensures the well-being of those people living in the nearby areas. আৰু Indiaৰ যেটো mineral potential হয়, it is almost the same as countries like South Africa and Australia, but even after having a huge mineral deposit, okay, huge mineral potential, the mining sector of India is still underexplored. আৰু হেকাৰণে এই amendment bill খন কিছুমান নতুন objectives লৈ পেলাই পাস কৰা হৈছে লোক সভা. And the mining sector contributes around 7 to 7.5 of the GDP of countries like South Africa and Australia, whereas in India it is only 1.75%, okay. Aru ei jikhon amendment bill hoy of 2021, your objective hoise to maintain transparency in the auction process, okay, and it is aimed at bringing more transparency in the auction processes of the mines. Aru tar logote it will also try to enhance the employment. Okay, that is a major objective, in fact, in this amendment bill. It is to generate the employment in the mining sector. So let us have a look at the questions for today. Question number 1: what is 9-line? Number 2: discuss the significance of the Boao Forum for Asia. Number 3: why human cells grown in monkey embryos spark ethics debate. Discuss. Number 4: explain the term welfare state. Discuss to what extent India fulfills the criteria of being a welfare state. And the last question for today, number 5: discuss the term heat budget and how it impacts the temperature in the Earth's atmosphere. So this was all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and share, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'll see you all again tomorrow with another session of newspaper analysis only at Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC and APSC preparation. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
বৰঠাকুৰ IAS একাডেমি প্ৰস্তুতি আৰু অধ্যয়নৰ নিৰ্ভৰযোগ্য ঠিকনা
বৰঠাকুৰ IAS Academy